Black's Law Dictionary defines a bully as a blustering, quarrelsome, overbearing person who is more insolent than courageous.
In an investigation into the 168th District Court in El Paso County, Texas, under Judge Marcos Lizarraga, we have uncovered a gross violation of the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct, attempts at coercion, fraudulent misrepresentation, and intimidation of a pro se litigant. The following report is corroborated by a bar complaint, witness statements, voicemail messages left by the attorney to the victim, audio, and video recordings. Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega, bar number 2, 4060365, a shareholding attorney employed at Scott Hulse Law Firm in El Paso, Texas, did knowingly provide unethical legal advice to an unrepresented person in violation of the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct under Rule 4.03 dealing with unrepresented person. The Texas courts have defined legal advice as any written or oral statement that interprets some aspect of the law, court rules, or court procedures and recommends a specific course of conduct a person should take in an actual legal proceeding. The Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct. Rule 4.03, dealing with unrepresented person, clearly states that a lawyer shall not give legal advice to an unrepresented person, other than the advice to secure counsel, if the lawyer knows or reasonably should know that the interests of such a person are or have a reasonable possibility of being in conflict with the interests of the client. On November 14, 2024, Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega, outside of Judge Marcos Lizarraga's chambers, approached the opposing party, an unrepresented person, to discuss the $1 million lawsuit he filed against the pro se litigant. Attorney Francisco J. Ortega was legally aware of the pro se litigant's status when he stated,
"You obviously don't know the law."
This statement is a clear admission that he was very aware that he was speaking to an unrepresented person and a non-lawyer. Attorney Francisco J. Ortega proceeded to unethically provide legal advice and fraudulently misrepresented the legal issue at hand when he stated,
"I know you want to ask for a continuance, but the judge is not going to grant it."
A disgusting display of arrogance, a truly misguided delusion of grandeur, and even more disgusting, the outright disdainful audacity to actually believe that he can speak on the judge's behalf, put words into the judge's mouth, and a complete demonstration of attorney Francisco J. Ortega's contempt for the judiciary and Judge Marcos Lizarraga. Further, our investigation found that Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega began to forcefully confront the pro se litigant, getting in the litigant's face, aggressively towering over the disabled litigant, and invading the litigant's personal space in an attempt to intimidate the pro se litigant into complying with his demand. Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega's behavior was so outrageous and unbecoming of an officer of the court that he had to be asked to back away, get out of the disabled litigant's face, and calm down. Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega, having been informed by the court that the pro se litigant was actively seeking legal counsel and was requesting a continuance in a $1 million case, continued his attempts at coercion and continued to fraudulently misrepresent his legal advice when he stated the following enticement. He then attempted to further coerce the pro se litigant in a $1 million case when he unethically and illegally stated,
"We have an offer for you."
He then attempted to further coerce the pro se litigant in a $1 million case when he unethically and illegally stated,
"You don't need a lawyer. We can take care of this today."
If this is the example of a Texas super lawyer, Texas should be ashamed. Disgusting. Furthermore, our investigation found that Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega was very aware that the pro se litigant was actively seeking legal counsel for a countersuit under the Texas anti-SLAPP law and was asking the court for a continuance. The question that begs to be asked, was this the reason for attorney Francisco J. Ortega's unethical and potentially criminal behavior in front of the judge's chambers? Our investigation finds that the answer is a resounding yes, and is further corroborated by the statement made by attorney Francisco J. Ortega to the pro se litigant when he stated,
"We have to move forward with the hearing today. The law states it has to be heard within 60 days, and we are very close to the deadline. We have to go through this hearing."
Attorney Francisco J. Ortega is very aware that with the filing of an anti-SLAPP suit, the case must immediately be stopped, and the anti-SLAPP suit must be heard first. That is the reason for Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega's attempted coercion, fraudulent misrepresentation, and the unethical legal advice he provided the pro se litigant. Attorney Francisco J. Ortega was attempting to intimidate and coerce an unrepresented person into complying with his demands, accepting his offer, and settling his million-dollar lawsuit by providing unethical legal advice to the opposing pro se litigant. Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega states that he once held the following positions: Vice Chairman for the Ethics Review Commission for the City of El Paso, Commissioner of Housing Authority for the City of El Paso, Borderplex Community, clerked for a federal judge in the Supreme Court of Texas, and most importantly, is a Texas super lawyer. Our investigation has found that Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega conducts himself in an unethical and potentially criminal manner in his legal dealings with the courts and at the courthouse. An investigation must immediately be conducted on the ethics of a man who is so intertwined in the El Paso government. A forensic review of any and all rulings, filings, votes, committee assignments, and fiduciary involvement surrounding Texas super lawyer attorney Francisco J. Ortega must be immediately conducted. Such an investigation is aggressively demanded, knowing that attorney Francisco J. Ortega openly breaks the rules of the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct without regard for its ethics and openly mocks the judiciary and the law. If you or anyone you know has any information or has been a victim of attorney Francisco J. Ortega, please contact the Sammy C. Show. All information will be kept strictly confidential. We here at the Sammy C. Show will never stop shining a bright light on the unethical and potentially criminal behavior of the El Paso courts, its judiciary, and El Paso attorneys.
The Sammy C. Show, citizen journalist.